There we are. Let's go ahead and hit them with the old intros first. I haven't seen these in about 4 years.
Man, I'm pumped. Let's go.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Wow, I have not seen those intros in about 4 years. Welcome to our season preview show here from G6 Entertainment, Sons of a Pitch, Soccer Central, and Toronto Sports Insider. We have a special guest, Mr. Jeffery Nesker from Toronto FC. Till I die. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm good. I still can't quite believe that we're less than 24 hours. Well, 24-ish hours away from the premiere of the MLS season. I just found out I've got 8 episodes of that behind the scenes Drive to Survive MLS series on Apple TV that I've got to sort of binge watch before it goes. The scuttlebutt is that Pat Noonan is the star of the show apparently, and that when they follow FC Cincinnati, it's like a shot of adrenaline into the narrative. So let's go. You know.
Nice, I love it. So I just want to preface the entire episode here with back in 2018, myself and a good friend started this channel, Sons of a Pitch Soccer Central, and being a diehard TFC fan since day one in 2006, actually, in the first training camp down in Sunrise, Florida, I eventually started my channel, Toronto Sports Insider. We're starting coverage on TSI tomorrow with the DC United and Toronto FC season opener, which will be the first TSI stream of a Toronto FC game, which has actually been a goal of mine for about 3 years now. So we're super excited to get going. But with that being said, I have not been up on the team because Toronto FC has hurt me too many times for me to watch this kind of drubbing week in and week out, and mismanagement and Bill Manning, and thank goodness he's gone. But anyway, let's get into the show. Jeffrey, tell me first, where can everybody find you? Tell us about your channel and what you do.
Sure. We do Toronto Till I Die, which is a weekly. It's weekly when the season kicks off. It's sort of less than weekly in the off season, especially considering the off season that the club has just had. But every Monday we go live for about an hour and a half, starting at 7 p.m. And hopefully it won't be as much about group therapy and like caring equals sharing this season as it has been over the last 4 seasons. Or you know what? I take that back. I enjoy the therapy session. It's a lot of fun. And then, of course, you know, I do work on the side for Waking the Red, which is the TFC SB Nation, formerly SB Nation blog, now now it's affiliated with Canadian Soccer Daily. And in my day job, I make movies and cut movies and do whatever I can in movies to pay the bills kind of thing. So yeah, you can find me on X. You can find me on Blue Sky. You can find me on Instagram, although I really don't like Instagram. You won't find me on TikTok because I hate that thing. And yeah, you can find me on Facebook, but you'll mostly be seeing cat photos and like recommendations of music that I like. So maybe don't do that.
Nice. Well, we'll make sure to list everything up in the description in the comments, so everybody can go over and subscribe to Jeffrey and his team over there. Because I'll tell you, I started back in the day. I was a daily visitor to Waking the Red. I mean, I got notifications on my old cell phones that don't exist anymore from Waking the Red. So it's kind of like a dream come true to be chatting with you guys.
Awesome. I mean, it is an institution. You know, Waking the Red occupies a very interesting space in TFC land, in that it's crass, it's it's satirical, but it comes from the heart, and I think that vibe is what attracted me to Waking the Red. It's funny, you started your thing in 2018. I started writing for Waking the Red in 2018, so awesome. we're aligned in that regard. Yeah.
Very, very cool. So let's get into it here. Tell me about this off season. Give me some information. Who's new? Who's out? Who's in? Who's out? As well, Lorenzo Insigne.
Here we go.
What is going on?
All right. Well, I mean, you want to talk. You asked a lot of questions there, which is funny because that's what I do to mess people up. If you ask Tom Bogart, I went in, or James Grossi on our season preview, I kind of gave them like an essay question. But it's interesting to be on the other side. Our off season was decidedly meh. And the sort of temperature around TFC Live, TFC Land is that not enough got done. Which, of course, the caveat to that is how much can you get done when you're carrying a $15 million albatross around your neck. There's very much causality in this. The standard refrain coming from TFC Land was, look at what Atlanta's doing, look at what Miami's doing, look at what other teams in the Eastern Conference are doing. They're spending money and TFC isn't, which I think is very, it's not right? Like it ignores that we've already spent that money, right? And it's being occupied by somebody that clearly doesn't want to be here. That being said, the last week has seen a lot of movement from TFC, and the sort of party line is that once it was decided that Lorenzo wasn't moving, and let me qualify this. This is the scuttlebutt around Lorenzo Insigne. So we offered, I firmly believe that the club tried to move heaven and earth to get Lorenzo Insigne off the books in this offseason, despite all the elements to the contrary. And it seems like what happened was that the team was able to organize 3 potential moves for Lorenzo to clubs in Turkey, Italy, and now it escapes me, Spain. Not the greatest clubs in the top flight. Certainly, I'd say maybe all 3 of them are in danger of relegation. But let's be honest, Lorenzo Insigne's numbers do not dictate a big money move to a Champions League team, despite what he might say. And he turned them all down. The money at hand, I think it was a combination. TFC were willing to buy him out to almost about 80% of what he's owed. Some of that would have been covered by his other club. But he turned it all down. TFC has now come out on the warpath, turned it into a PR event in the court of public opinion. They've basically come out and said he does not fit into Robin Fraser's plans. Robin Fraser is going to bench him. Robin Fraser is going to do this, going to do that. It hasn't been absolute, but certainly the news that came out a few days ago that the team traveled to Florida for the second bit of preseason and they're going to be going straight to DC for the home opener, and Lorenzo's still in Toronto, suggests a situation that I think is never been seen in MLS before. I mean, this is, I think I read today that when all is said and done, Lorenzo Insigne will be leaving TFC with almost $100 million Canadian, right? If you look at the numbers based on that cost outlay, it's absolutely insane. So it drives me crazy. I mean, fandom is fandom, right? But it drives me nuts when TFC Live is like, well, what I said before, why aren't we spending more money? Because we've spent it. And this idea that buying Lorenzo Insigne out is just a means to an end. Like, it's a lot of money to be talking about here. Getting back to what I was saying before, once the club decided to kind of go scorched earth with Lorenzo Insigne, and they sort of made mention of the fact that plan B was if and when Lorenzo Insigne decided that he wasn't moving anywhere, that they were going to make moves that were different than what they would have made if Lorenzo Insigne had unlocked a DP spot and unlocked the war chest that he's currently taking up. And to be honest, the moves have been really good in my esteemed opinion. TFC, it's a blessing and a curse to have the kind of pocketbooks that our ownership MLSE does. And sometimes it goes bad. And I think the fact that Lorenzo went tragicomically bad, like Shakespearean level bad, has kind of forced them into doing things that you would see like a Philadelphia Union do, or Robin Fraser's former employer, the Colorado Rapids do.
Right.
And, TFC hasn't really shaken down these kind of moves as aggressively as they are right now. And I do think that you can find diamonds in the rough this way.
Yes.
So, if you want to go through the list of departures, look, we're looking at Jaquil Marcherotti, which is a sore spot for us. a very, very sore spot for us. And recently, Jason Hernandez, our general manager, has gone on record saying that it was a failure of the front office to keep the player, and that it was a institutional failure. I agree. It hurts, especially losing him to Montreal, our chief rival, but it is what it is. Getting Thiago Andrade for 5 seconds for a cup of coffee and then flipping him was an interesting bit of business there. But despite the cash trades in MLS, we are still a TAM GAM thank you ma'am league. Like, it still exists, and being able to make these kind of money moves, like what LA Galaxy just bought international slots for next year, right, from this year, paying a $25,000 premium. So it's still kind of a wacky league, and those kind of moves to get GAM to flip an asset immediately is kind of shrewd business. Got rid of Prince, also went to Montreal. It seems like half of CF Montreal is made up of our cast-offs right now, which does not bode. Yeah, always in our shadows, exactly. The less I say about Owusu, the better. I mean, his introductory press conference at Montreal pretty much ended his relations with TFC, and that's fine. Brandon Servania, unfortunate, got injured, was really starting to establish himself with the team in central midfield. The injury came at the wrong time. His recovery came at the wrong time, and that he would have been too much money. He was making about $600K a year with us. He was up for an increase in salary. It just, the numbers didn't add up, and unfortunately he's now at DC, so we'll be seeing him if he starts or if he subs in, but he's there now. Shane O'Neill, who was a really good soldier for the club, veteran center back. He was really surprising under John Herdman. I mean, he was almost an attacking fullback or a modern wingback for a little bit. Like, there were several instances where he was like leading the attack and making that cross into the box. We didn't know he had it in his locker, but listen, we concede goals like most people change socks over the last 4 years, and his legs were given. He's on the wrong side of 30. He didn't have the legs. He's injury prone. It's tough, but it needed to happen. Luke Singh, who's been on the periphery of TFC for a very long time, loaned out to the CPL almost in perpetuity. We finally tore off the Band-Aid there. Greg Ranjit Singh, who was our third string goalkeeper, who I rated really highly because of one game. I think it was during the Conca Champions League during the pandemic, and he put in a good shift at goalkeeper, and I thought he was the second coming of Dave Seaman, and apparently I was very, very wrong. Cassius Malula Cassius Malula is an interesting one, because he came in under some serious hype. I mean, he's a South African international, played with the Sundowners. TFC immediately got like 100,000 new subscribers from South Africa that were vouching for this kid, singing his praises kind of thing. But he just wasn't, for whatever reason, whether it's lack of minutes, whether it's, playing on a dysfunctional team, or it's, as some people would argue with me, it's just the physicality of the player. He's very small. He's not the fastest. And in MLS, kind of got found out. Even when we were playing in the Canadian Championship against a couple tiers lower, he was still not quite there. That being said, we've loaned him out to Wydad Athletic Club, and he's absolutely lighting it on fire there. So that loan has a purchase option, which hasn't been activated yet. We assume it will be. But there's a part of me that's sad to see him go. On the opposite, Ami Babika is maybe the worst center back I've ever seen attempt to play the game as a center back. I'm very glad that he's gone because I'm not going to have as many heart attacks. He is responsible for some of the most witless abandonment of plays in the box for a defender I've ever seen, and I can't. Let's go to incoming. So we've got Thiago Andre. Nice to know you. It was lovely to see you for 5 seconds. It's funny that Henry Wingo is listed on Transfer Market because he was actually an acquisition last season, but I think he played under 500 minutes. He's listed as a right back here, but he's got quite a bit of utility, especially as a defender, and I'm sure we're going to see him a lot more as a center back because that is a position of incredible lack of depth with this team right now. And here comes the exciting one. So we've got Ulla Brynhildsen, who is coming to us from FC. Forget it. He's coming to us from Scandinavia. He is 25 years old. He is I wouldn't call him a straight 9. I would call him I would call him kind of a hybrid player. He's a fox in the box, and his highlights are all Cruyff turns. So I'm happy. Here we go. Right. And Theo Corbineau, who is a Canadian men's national team player, who's now on the periphery of the Canadian men's national team, went on about 100 million loans around Europe. Never really found his groove. Really excited to have him here. This is if I can quote my co-host Mikey Singh, I was just listening to his guest hit on Soccer Wise. He was saying, and I agree with him, this is exactly the kind of signing that TFC should be making more of. When you look at the Canadian men's national team, and almost 90% of the players grew up in and around the Greater Toronto area, most of them developed outside of TFC. That's a huge egg on the face of the organization. Now, you're never going to nail 100%. That's insane. But 30%, 20%, that's bad. You've got to get those numbers up. And so, Theo did develop at the academy and then went on his European adventure. So it's nice to bring him back. And it's a good reclamation project. TFC's Mount Rushmore are all players that had a chip on their shoulder that came to TFC with something to prove. Sebastian Giovinco wasn't getting the minutes he wanted at Juventus. Josie Altidore's career at Sunderland, let's just not talk about it. Michael Bradley coming from Roma, he had lost his spot and he wanted to prove that he still had it. These are the kind of players, this is the player profile that we usually end up having some success with. Beyond that, we've got Charlie Sharp, Nathaniel Edwards, Adissa Di Rosario, Hugo Mabonge. These are all TFC2 guys that are getting sent up. We've just had Marcus Simmermansik. He's a midfielder with TFC2 of some esteem. He just signed a homegrown deal. I haven't been on socials enough to see how much complaining is happening because we were promised a midfielder of some esteem, and I'm sure the general consensus around TFC land is that promoting from within is not going to do it. Which is an interesting segue to the other rumored arrival, which is what's his name again? It's such a good name too. Zane Manlewis, who is the Arsenal U21 center back, Arsenal U21 captain, who has apparently been targeted by TFC and is going to be coming over on the same kind of 1-year loan deal with the option to purchase as Ula did. Now, one of the bright spots of last year, Nixon Gomes, came from Sheffield's under-21 academy. This is a really interesting thing that TFC is doing. Going after players, because remember, with the U22, the emphasis on U22 that's happening in our league right now, this is some really shrewd business. That being said, we just talked about how TFC has a awful habit of getting in the way of developing Canadian talent. There are quite a few defenders waiting in the wings at TFC2. I'm talking about Lazar Stefanovic and Adam Perlman that are now potentially blocked by the presumed arrival of this U2022 center back from Arsenal. You know, it's interesting because these kind of moves you could say are win now moves, and I don't think TFC are in any position in this or any other universe to use the words win and now to mitigate any of their transfer targets for at least this season. So if there was ever an opportunity, and we talk about this all the time, if there was ever an opportunity to start blooding some of the youths, now is the time. And yet we're still looking outside of there. So very much kind of Humpty Dumptying it, like between, you know, a rock and a hard place, kind of sitting on the fence. Is that?
Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, that's for me the issue with MLS. And if you go back to my old season previews back in 2020 and things of that nature, it's the rules that are in play that were built to grow a league in a certain way. And unfortunately, they've just gotten so clouded, so many issues due to the kind of same thing as when, I don't know if you have any children, but when you're raising kids, if you let them get away with something, they're going to go do it again. And so when you have LA Galaxies and Miami's going and getting 4 designated players, getting a slap on the wrist, and then you've got other rules in place that are saying, hey, we need to go find the youth of the world to come play here and grow the business that way too. You got to pick one or the other, and you got to stick to it. And the changing of the guard has been my biggest issue with MLS.
I mean, I love our stupid league. And I always quote an article that I read in the Scottish Guardian. It's got to be about 7 years ago. And they were talking about if they had to start football again, what they would take out of MLS, American ideas, you know, the salary cap, stuff like that. Because, you know, it's so easy to talk about, you know, the DP rule and GAM and all of this stuff, but ignore, you know, Manchester City not getting any kind of consequences for FPP violations, while Everton gets like relegated to like the nether regions, right? Sent to the phantom zone. So, you know, we can have this conversation, but we have to be honest that, like, you know, it's not solved by pro rel, and Europe, you know, Europe, as much as we want to idolize it and compare it, you know, in a like for like situation, has its own problems too. I think the beauty of MLS is how you work inside those lines, right? Like I always say, it's more difficult to be the Beatles and the Rolling Stones, right? The Beatles wrote songs that you don't even have to know how to speak English to sing back, right? Like they cross cultural, class. They cross all boundaries. So, you know, making a winning team like Bez did for us in 2017, inside of the craziness that is these contrary rules and this consistent reevaluation. You know, our league is never the same twice, right? Like it's like every year it's a new adventure. I think is really insanely difficult to do, and that's why you see the masterminds like Bez get you know, usurped and taken over to Europe, because think about what he could do without the, you know, with less insanity than MLS. It boggles the mind. So I do think that this is kind of a gauntlet, and everything supports it. You know, the fact that like a European player thinks they understand the travel that's required, and then they get here and they're like, nope. A European or a player that isn't blooded in MLS, you know, there are so many peculiarities of our league that make it the gauntlet that it is. And I actually love the struggle. I love it's like aggregate math, you know, that they keep trying to take away from me, but I love 8 beers deep in the stands, like, well, 8 beers, 4 beers deep in the stands. Let's be honest. I'm kind of a lightweight. You know, someone scores a goal and I'm like, who's winning? And then you're doing like napkin math, right? Like what is the away goals going on? I like the complications. I like surmounting the complications. So yeah, you know, and I think there's no team in MLS, just to bring it back to TFC, I don't think there's a team in MLS this season that has more complications to deal with than Toronto FC. So we're sort of getting what I asked for, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, I think the main thing is I just want to see a team that gives me something on the field. You know, show me something. Give me something to cheer for. When I go to the stadium, give me something to get excited about. At least somebody.
I agree.
And,
I agree.
It's like I just had to break this thing out because I have give a quick shout out to a good friend of the channel here, Mr. Jay Jardim. Was one of the first listeners on Sons of a Pitch Soccer Central when me and my buddy Nick were sitting in a garage with planes flying overhead at O'Hare.
Nice.
And we had our first revelation that there was a real person actually listening to what us two idiots had to say.
Amazing.
And Jay, thank you for being a true member of this community since day one back in 2018 when I met you. And this jersey here, the only TFC jersey that I have right now, because
that's such a hipster pick. Isn't that a keeper kit?
Oh, it's a keeper kit. So Jay got it at BMO.
Nice.
For my son, because my son is a goalie who
excellent.
My fat ass doesn't fit into this, but
I wasn't going to say anything. I could have. I was like, is that for the new?
Hold it out. It's the white championship kit with the gold star that fell off Michael Bradley, and it's so thin that it almost completely see-through in the front. I'm like,
nice.
Can't wear that on television. I need to go order the new red kit. What are your thoughts on that red kit? You like it?
I like it, but you are really throwing a landmine here because the previous home kit is kind of infamous in TFC land. I happen to be very good friends with the supporter that designed that kit.
Yeah.
And I also think it's a absolutely stunning kit. And I think that when the dust settles, it will take its rightful place in the pantheon of great TFC kits. This one's not bad. As someone that dabbles in graphic design, I hate diffused nothingness on there. It's certainly a step up from like the mouse pad, the inexplicable mouse pad background of last season's away kit, and it's red, and it looks kind of nice and billowy on the players, like the way that it's cut and it fits. It looks like it's like summer weight, and so I really like it. I mean, do I $200 and something Canadian like it? I don't know yet. They're getting way too expensive, man. I mean, it's compared to hockey kits, they're still a value. I know official hockey kits are like running about 400 bones or something like that, but $200 is not nothing. I know we live in a world where you buy an iPhone for $7,000 every 2 years, but it's still a bit of money. So yeah, but the TLDR is, I like it. Of course I like it. It's a TFC kit.
Nice. Yeah, no, that's it. I mean, I'm excited for it because I've been waiting for the red kit to come back. And it's funny. I know the whole story. I used to listen to Vocal Minority back in the day.
There you go.
So I know
Shout
all
out BM.
I love the Onyx kit, and I love the fact that someone who was a day one kind of guy and of that group of people was able to be brought in for something like that. I absolutely love it. And it really pissed me off when I saw all the hate that the kit was getting and all of that stuff, because you're right, it's not a bad kit at all.
It's the inverse of the 2017 kit. Like if you look at it compared to the 2017 championship kit, and also getting even a little bit of Onyx back on a TFC kit was a coup, because MLS after the Onyx kit dropped, they started reserving colors for certain teams, and the New York Red Bulls got Onyx and we couldn't have it anymore, right? That Onyx kit is fantastic. I'm lucky enough to have a long sleeve one. I absolutely adore it, but man, does it ever fit like a sausage casing. Both of those kits, the Onyx kit and the home kit that was like the all over Ed Hardy print with the sort of embossed Canada flag, absolutely gorgeous kit. You need less than 0% body fat to pull it off. Otherwise it is the most uncomfortable thing in the world.
That does not work in certain for sure.
Imagine that. They're made for soccer players, not us. Imagine that. Imagine that.
Exactly, right? Oh man. But no, that's I'm excited. I can't wait to get up there for a game. I have not been to BMO Field since MLS Cup 2016.
It's different now. You were there. You were there post the major expansion, but if you come this season, you're going to be mid World Cup glow up, right?
Yes.
And nobody's actually sure what's staying, what's temporary. I know the scoreboard's gone on the north side, which is going to be interesting.
Okay.
And I know that they've built a whole bunch of new infrastructure around the stadium to allow for the ingress and egress of punters and fans, because it's pretty dangerous. There's only one tunnel to get out of there, and it can be a horror show sometimes. Yeah. Woof.
Dangerous.
Woof. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's a trial by fire.
All right, let's wrap this thing up, man. What are your expectations for this season, and then what is your prediction? Where do you think Toronto FC ends this season in MLS? What are you looking for? What should the fan that's joining a new community of, like, say, TSI and Sons of a Pitch Soccer Central, who's here hanging out every single game, the entire game, cheering on TFC, creating our own South End on YouTube?
Yeah. Amazing.
What should we be looking for? And I'm talking people from the Philippines who have no idea what MLS even is.
What should you be looking for? This is a team that's desperately trying to find to get its mojo back, and hiring Robin Fraser off the back of whatever the hell the John Herdman year was. It's funny because I'm watching the Saturday Night Live documentary series, and one of the episodes is the weird year, 1985, when like Robert Downey Jr. and Anthony Michael Hall and Randy Quaid were in the cast, and it was just a disaster. The John Herdman year might be remembered in the same way, you know, like, hey, look, it's Robbie Downey Jr. What happened? Like, so we're trying to get our mojo back and undo a lot of bad muscle memory. And I think that this season will be a tale of two halves. Nothing, as much as the club, as much as Oso comes out and says it's not a distraction, what's going on with Lorenzo, it can't not be. And beyond that, that's a lot of money wrapped up on the bench or being just burnt in effigy right now. Now, that's not to say that TFC's left it so late and MLS is so zany and labyrinthine. Like, no, I couldn't tell you if they were to buy out Lorenzo and Insigne a minute from now, does that mean we have our DP spot back or not? Like, I don't know. So, like, at the end of the day, I think the club is going to do its best to kind of put that on the back burner and play some meaningful games, but it can't not be an issue until it's resolved. So I do think the runway to resolve that situation is probably going to be the first half of the season, and then we'll see a different team. So if you like chaos, this is your club. I don't think this roster is going to be the same at the end of the year than it was at the beginning. I think this season is an audition for every single person, including the guy that, you know, the kit man. It's an audition. This club needs to clean house.
Oso, right?
So
please tell me.
No, I think Oso's safe, but I do think Oso may have to accept not being a regular starter, because this team's screaming for a number 10. We've got a surfeit of 8-6 hybrids. We've got a couple pure 6s. But we don't have a 10. And that's going to, if and when we get a creative attacking midfielder, they are going to start above almost everybody else on the roster. So that may mean that Oso has to accept reduced playing time. So I would say nothing is safe, nothing is gospel. And yeah, you know, it's an exciting time for the club because they're finally, like I called them Humpty Dumpty, they're finally making moves to get off that wall. Right? And we've been on that wall for too long. We've been in a rebuild for 4 years. We've had too many false dawns. So the hope now is that we can get our S together without cursing all over your stream. And I think that it's interesting. I had this conversation on our show. I asked my co-host, you know, when we do business with like the Arsenals and the Liverpools, right? Are we creating a situation where our players can maybe get playing time over there? And of course the answer is no. They want nothing to do with guys from they've got a big enough academy on their own. So it'll be interesting to see how TFC develops these relationships with like the Sheffields and the Arsenals and the Liverpools when it is kind of a one-way street right now. We need them way more than they need us, right? And we could be an example for the rest of the league in how to do this or how not to do this. So, intellectually and emotionally, TFC is going to be pretty chaotic. Buckle up, but don't panic because it's MLS, and
Right,
any team on their day can win. Any team
Right.
beat any
Right.
other team,
And
that's
well,
the beauty of this league.
you can go on a 4-game winning streak in MLS and go from the bottom of the table to damn near
100%.
immediately.
100%.
So, maybe not anymore with Miami, but Jeffrey, it's been a pleasure. What formation do you see them lining up with tomorrow?
God, I'm gonna guess 4-4-2, just because it gets everybody on the field that I think needs to see the field in the opener, and doesn't preclude much, and that would mean Berna as a second striker kind of thing. How their shape will be on defense, I think they'll collapse into a 3-man backline. But honestly, I have no idea, and I don't think anybody in the league has any idea either, because TFC's played 3 or 4 preseason games in entirety. So your guess is as good as mine. To answer your other question, where do I think they're going to end up? Yeah. I said 13th. I stand by 13th. I don't think this is a playoff team yet. I think this year is growing pains, and we just have to forget the growing pains that we had to endure since the turn of the decade. We've got to reset the clock, accept that this is going to be a rebuild year, and put faith that we won't have to reset to another rebuild year like this year didn't happen like we did this offseason.
Right. No, that's for sure. I mean, for me, it's funny because I've kind of taken a step back from TFC as a not really one. The big switch was Apple TV. That's what got me. The Apple computers and all that business. I couldn't do it. I couldn't get behind it. It wasn't worth it. I don't have the time to watch the games. And so I kind of took a step back, but I am TFC till I die.
There you go.
This baby's coming to the grave with me here. So
nice.
We're back. I'm so excited. SOP soccer is back. I mean, that's basically the gist of it. Is we've kind of taken a couple years off here dealing with the things in life that every single person on this planet has some variation of bad.
100%.
It just depends on how rough and how quickly they all happen and how you deal with it. And so, we're back. We've got season tickets now. It's been a dream of mine since I would say about 2014 when I really started kicking the wheels.
Nice.
I'm going to do this. And finally, after the successes of Toronto Sports Insider and this amazing community, I can't even use the tickets. I can't even get there because we have soccer tournaments and volleyball tournaments and everything else. And of course, every game will be live on TSI, maybe simulcast on SOP. We'll figure it out. But,
nice.
We're donating tickets to all of these TFC games to Sick Kids Hospital with our partnership with Toronto Sports Insider. So we will actually be raffling off some. We actually gave away 2 sets. We had 2 donations during the Football Frenzy campaign that we managed to get from 2 viewers inside the hockey stream. And both of them, I said, you know what, your $10 ticket gets you a chance at the 2 tickets for any game you want, because I haven't even figured it out yet. And we had 2 donations because we're not quite there yet with Sick Kids. We haven't quite hit that virality yet, but it's coming.
Yeah.
Seeing what happened last night with that Canada game of 600,000 views.
Yeah.
Got created. It's a matter of time until we hit 1 million, and then the World Cup on Sons of a Pitch Soccer Central will be amazing because my plan is to be running every stream and popping in live to every single stream with probably 30 to 50,000 people watching each game at that time with my phone live from BMO. So hopefully we'll get there. Those are the plans. But Jeffrey, let everybody know one more time where they can find your work and give shout outs to whoever you think our viewers should go check out.
Jeffery P. Nesker. I usually retweet or re-X everything of note in TFC land. So just use me as your aggregator. And Toronto Till I Die and Waking the Red on all the socials. But
all right, my man, thanks so much for hanging out with us today. And
cheers.
I'm going to put together a lineup preview now in a 4-4-2 because you said it, and we're going to get it done.
No, I'm going to get
upload this thing before
absolutely admonished by. Actually, you might want to check out an account G Money Talks on the Twitter. They are obsessed with TFC. They just put out a lineup, and I do believe they were also a 4-4-2. So maybe I won't get raked over the coals by the TFC fandom for going to the rote 4-4-2 like I just got into soccer. Like, oh, a striker and
yeah. What's that one formation that's in soccer?
Yeah, the 4-1, the 4-1. Yeah, exactly.
I love it. Thank you, sir. Go TFC, and we'll see you guys right after these awesome little emoji animations that we've got here, and then we'll just leave a few minutes of blank space to add to the video. Cheers, Jeffrey. Have a great day, man.
You too. That was super fun, dude.
Awesome, man. Thanks so much. We'll be in touch.
No worries. Absolutely, stay in touch.
Twitter
Cheers.
For sure.
All right.
Take it easy, man. Thank you.
You too.
See ya. All right, how about now? Can you guys hear me now? We have audio. All right. Man, the pack luck is on fire right now. Cheers to everyone who is in the chat still from the Raptors game tonight. Oh boy, I got a lot of dupes there that I have to deal with. So let's get a little bit of gameplay in here while we are just kind of combining the two channels here. G6 Entertainment, you see it right there. Sons of a Pitch, Soccer Central, and Toronto Sports Insider. And coming soon, Chicago Sports Insider. The future is very bright. Jay, a big shout out to you, my friend, an OG as well. Ryan, another OG. Red Bull Insider, my man, the Insider. Red Bull Insider, when are you going to start doing your Red Bull content on that channel so that we can help grow your channel like we did Toronto Sports Insider? All right, my man. As well, a big shout out to, excuse me, my voice is all messed up here. Too much scotch tonight. But cheers to Carmen, Don Allen. So great to see you, Carmen. Thank you for all of the support from TSI here on over to SOP as well. Lots of awesome friends here in the chat. And like I said in the chat earlier to Ryan, it would be my honor, sir, to have you in those seats cheering on the Reds as loud as you can. Because I'm not going to be able to make it. And if I can, I don't know, we'll chat. We'll figure it out. But, man, thank you for your support since day one. You have been here as well. My goodness, just as long. I don't even know how many subscribers on SOP when you finally found us here, but it was a fellow TFC fan to my lovely, MLS content and CONCACAF content, which eventually we will get back to one day here. But it's so good to be back. There you go. Connor's still here. Jay's still here, man. Dude, this is SOP and TSI to the moon, Jay. You're not kidding, man. You're not kidding. But it is just and I know, and I'm so confident about it because it is nothing but my 100% passion and my 100% idea. It's all right up here in this brain and written down on a piece of paper to plan it out. And it's something that has kept me going through the tough times in the past couple of years with all the stuff that we've been through. But you get through it, you carry on, and you keep playing video games, and then you find a way to help grow your YouTube channel and others and keep on changing the world. One insider or SOP at a time. Had a great meeting with Nick Pateras. Big shout out to Glass House Soccer on YouTube, covering the Chicago Fire. Nick, an honor to share Sons of a Pitch Soccer. Used to read all of his stuff on Waking the Red, and then you get to chat with him about TFC and get some knowledge on the season that's coming up. It's going to be a fun season this year. Not much as far as the expectations go, but TFC fans, we've been doing this rebuild thing for a while. Let's go. An honor to share Sons of a Pitch Soccer. Used to read all of his stuff on Waking the Red, and then you get to chat with him about TFC and get some knowledge on the season that's coming up. It's going to be a fun season this year. Not much as far as the expectations go, but TFC fans, we've been doing this rebuild thing for a while. Let's go.
their way into the game, be confident on the ball, and hopefully we won't be disappointed.
The game brought to a halt, a free kick given for that. Bale. Defensive job done for now. Moving forward under no real pressure. And this could be. The goalkeeper more than ready for it. This is the home side's team today.
Yeah, it looks like a 4-5-1 or a 4-2-3-1. This could be quite an attacking lineup with the three progressive players behind the lone striker. But you've still got that defensive protection with the two midfielders holding.
Just needs the composure now. Oh, it's in! An early opener to get the game going.
The replay, you do have to feel for the keeper though. He's been completely exposed, but once he's through, it's a neat finish, very cool and collected.
One 0 then as we get started again. Julie Fowdy. Counter-attack coming, away they go. They couldn't quite take advantage in the end. There's room to do something here. Goes on past the defender. He'll try his luck. Well, not the easiest of saves, but you'd expect him to probably stop that. Here it comes. How did they fail to score? That's one to ponder for a while. No free kick, not yet. Advantage played. Big trouble being afforded too much space now. David. This could be threatening. Done really well to keep that out.
Well, that was such an important save. Trying to claw back a 2-goal deficit would have been so difficult. Maybe a turning point in the game.
And denied by a top draw tackle. You have to think quickly here. Has the space to whip it in here. It goes for a goal kick. Well, he let the game go, but now that it's stopped, it is a booking.
That's good to see, allowing play to continue, but correct decision in the end.
David. And they've got it back now. Forward progress continues. Breaking at pace, this could be dangerous. It's a good-looking attack from big trouble. And she's being urged to shoot. Oh, penalty! What a huge opportunity this is to extend their lead. And that is also going to be a yellow card.
It's a correct decision, good officiating that. It had to be a yellow.
This for 2-0. And he does the job from the spot.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
Underway then in the second half. And the two teams matching each other just about stride for stride. William Saliba. Good work from the Terriers to regain possession. Textbook closing down, and now they're on the attack. Well, we can see what they're trying to do, but not a memorable passage of play. And defensive play to be applauded. He has teammates around him. thought-provoking attack. He read the situation defensively and did his job. And they could face difficulties here. That is not going to do. Well wide of the target. Well, they have elected to go to the bench at this stage of the game. What's the keeper doing here? Can he take the chance? Well, they're going to feel, aren't they, that that was an opportunity squandered.
Well, from that position, it should be 1-0 now. Great chance for them.
And a fine tackle. Terriers might be able to cash in. Well, it didn't happen for them in attack.
Well, the Terriers have certainly been on the front foot over the last 15 minutes, as you can see, and created a hatful of chances. But when you're enjoying that amount of possession, you need to make it count.
Yes, who knows, maybe another opportunity in the works for them. Counter-attacking chance. Well, the flag has gone up here. Offside it is. And time for the change now. Alexis Sanchez with options. Mbappe. In with a chance. And there it is. The deadlock has been broken. We wondered if a goal would arrive. Well, now it has. And will there be a response now?
Well, first of all, where's the defending? They're all over the place. But give him some credit. That's a good finish. Great composure. Well, just look at the reaction of Unai Emery. That could prove to be a massive goal in this game.
1-0 then. Klostermann. The Terriers could get in behind the defence. And into the last 15 minutes of action. Vicente Lizarazu. And a throw coming up after that authoritative challenge. Here it is now, a substitution. Really getting stuck in. Mbappe. And big trouble have it back. This could be it! And it is! He's done it! Surely a case of game over.
Well, I have to say, this is a really good goal. He skips past his marker, and that gives him the space to get his shot away. Excellent stuff from him.
Given away by Terriers. It has to be! And the goalkeeper covered a lot of ground to push that away from danger. So a throw in here.
I would like to say the keeper's kept
Oh,
him.
sorry, Stuart, look at this. There it is. Victory more or less guaranteed now.
Well, as you can see, he hits this with so much power. But just look at the follow-through. So athletic. That's a dynamic strike.
It's a massive lead, and it's very hard to imagine them losing it now. So 2 minutes of stoppage time to be added on. Mbappe. Really fine piece of defending play to break us up. And there is it is, the full-time whistle here, and it's a victory for the visitors.
Well, it was a very...
Try to tell myself the bet is on you. Operating undercover, I should know better. Thought I knew better. Too
football. I'm Guy Mowbray, and the former England forward Sue Smith is with me for commentary, and we should have a cracking contest here. It's Striker Juniors, and they take on big trouble.
Thanks, Guy. Well, both managers will be reminding the players that it's important to get off to a quick start, really attack the opposition and put them on the back foot from the off. Hopefully we'll get a good game.
Now, this has to be. Well, it was looking good, but ultimately nothing doing. This is how Striker Juniors line up.
Yeah, it looks to be a 4-4-2, and you'd expect the two strikers to occupy both centre-backs. When they attack, they'll combine, and the wide midfielders, they'll get forward to provide crosses for them both.
He takes aim. Maybe that's a misconnection with the ball. It's well wide. Here's the lineup for big trouble.
Yeah, looks like a conventional 4-4-2. You don't see it too often anymore, but it should give them a really stable platform both in and out of possession.
Well, what a place to lose the ball just when the chance was on. Has to keep it here. He's given it. Penalty. And the spot kick is seen as sufficient punishment. No yellow card.
Yeah, and I can understand the frustrations. He's lucky not to get a card there.
To make it 1-0. And they have paid the penalty. It's been dispatched.
If you have a look at this again, it's a cool, calm penalty. The goalkeeper goes the wrong way and it's finished well. It's a really good strike.
So off we go at 1-0. William Saliba. Now with Maicon. Hakan Çalhanoğlu. Found nicely and in. And another. 2 goals in a matter of minutes. No wonder they're celebrating. Incredible.
Well, here we can see it again, and he shows great ability to get past his man. And then through on goal, he decides to go for power, absolutely smashes it past the keeper, and you have to say it was a good finish.
And the game restarts with the score 2-0. Could be dangerous. Bale through on goal. And they're 3 in front now. What a performance this has been so far.
Well, here's the replay. You do have to feel for the keeper, though. He's been completely exposed. But once he's through, it's a neat finish. Very cool and collected.
And we're back underway and 3-0. Coyote threads it through. And they've scored again. It's become a question of just how many they'll get.
Well, we can see it again, and he does well. He shows great strength and balance to fend the defender off, and then he slots it home. It's a really good goal, that.
we go again at 4-0 now. Oh, good vision from Foudy. And this could be. And still danger here. Has to be. Oh, that's brilliant. Dedication to the cause. Great chance here. Forward under no real pressure. Cut back nicely. Oh, against the bar. And they're not going to benefit from a decent passage of play. There's a chance for them to go now. He's in here. Could be now. And there's the hat-trick. He'll be taking the match ball home.
Shows the goalkeeper does everything he can. He's a bit unfortunate it goes in, but question marks have to be asked of his defence. They could have certainly helped him out.
Well, what a first half this is for them as the game gets going again. Bale. Now, this has to be. It's in! And of course it's in! It's a masterclass in finishing to complete his hat-trick. Jeremy Laguardo. Tolisso. Good work to beat the marker. Superb save. He's done so well to keep that out. Into the box it goes. And that's not properly away yet. Well, it comes to nothing in the end. And that's going to be it for the first 45 minutes. The game restarts. Bale. And that's where it ends, with possession lost. And played back to Alisson. Calhanoglu. Insigne. Davis. Time to think and finish. Oh, ho, ho! That has flown into the net. What a strike! A superb volley. tackle from Maicon. Pirlo. Pirlo threads it through. And there is proof that pure force isn't always the answer. It needed a more subtle touch. And it might not stay away from their goal long after that. Big trouble, have lost it now. And the attack is over. Really good defending. Could be a chance to break here. A chance for Bale. And this is turning into one magnificent and memorable match. Yet another goal. Bale just needs the composure now. Oh, it's hit the post. Nearly a wonderful attempt.
Well, it's a fantastic effort. Difficult technique, but he's caught it well. Very unfortunate.
Jeremy Laduaro. Sloppy in possession from Troika Juniors. Trouble maybe. And played back to Alisson. Maicon. And that's nicely won to see off the threat. Could be dangerous. And it's on now. Oh, what a really good save that was. Good cross into the middle. And this could be. Not quite the accuracy he was looking for. That'll be a goal kick. Sloppy in possession from big trouble. Weighted beautifully. Genuine chance. One more to the total, and there's no sign of them stopping there. Starts, the result in no doubt, and what a display this has been. Well read to gain possession. That will do it for today, and it's the visiting fans who will go home the happier. Sue, your overall impression?
Birkin date, birthday cake, drop her off, no record stunting. Immature, slam the door fronting. London or Tokyo, we coming. Constantly on my mind, running. All this worry gotta mean something. All this jury gotta mean something. Off the wall, I'm just being honest. I was lacking in my past, baby. Autopilot, we gon' crash, baby. My new shorty got some, baby. Let me see the camera flash, baby. So conceited, she beyond the years. Couple tears, couple fears, couple kisses on the stomach. Now she crying to me like, alright, I'ma change, you just ain't want me.
Everybody wanna know my business, who I been, who else on my hit list. I don't kiss or tell me why would I do that? Lord is my witness, I just need peace and tranquility. Shouldn't have asked it, lying on only ability. She ain't an answer, swear I lost interest right after I tasked it. Hold up, wait, back on my mind I still think about it. Run for a whole drink by it, go to sleep, have a whole dream about it. Still probably it up, make a whole scene by it. Go to my hip and it's already caught. If I blast her with this rocket, tell me is that out the pocket? If I pull up on your block like I ain't on your block list, tell me does that make me toxic? That make me you could choose.
Sort of weather the fans were hoping for this evening. It's absolutely ideal. I'm Derek Ray, and sitting next to me with his tactics charts at the ready is Stuart Robson. And we're fully convinced this game will live up to its billing. It's the Nutters, and they take on Big Trouble.
Well, this should be interesting today. I like the makeup of both teams. They really do have a good balance of attacking and defensive qualities. But the team that has the greater desire will probably come out on top.
Will it be? And there we go. It is the ideal opening.
Well, as you can see, his movement is really good, which then makes the finish look easy. That's a decent goal, that's for sure.
And a throw-in it's going to be. Nketiah. On to Evans. Well, the Nutters have it back. Plenty of support here. Now, Big Trouble finding space on the flank. Well, there's the pullback. And that brings the attack to an end. And the referee is quite rightly letting it go. Really good challenge. He's in behind. And a goal! That's his brace. They just can't keep him quiet. So the action underway once more with big trouble very much on top in this one. Mbappe. Looking to cut inside. Opportunity it is. In it goes! Such a complete performance. 4 in front now.
Well, as you can see, the defending is all over the place. That's far too easy for the attackers. The goalkeeper's got absolutely no chance there.
And a struggle to keep the ball for the Nutters. Making progress. But really sticking to their task defensively. And in with a real chance. Oh, in it goes! Now he has his hat-trick. A special moment for him.
Well, here's the replay. Watch how he goes past his man with such ease, and it's just a change of pace. And then from there, the keeper has little chance. 2-on-1, left completely exposed, and it made for a simple finish in the end.
Maradona. Teammates available. Didn't go to plan in the end. It's there for him. Oh! Burying them beneath an avalanche of goals. No let up here.
Well, let's take another look. If you lose the ball in those areas, you're going to get punished. And that's exactly what happened there.
Well, you've got to say, an incredible first-half performance. That scoreline tells you all you need to know. And well, they've got things going again here, and I wonder what kind of second half we have in store for us. Good idea. Oh, marvellous save. Great goalkeeping. Might it be Mbappe? A goal! We're really being spoiled. This is attacking football at its finest.
Well, it's a decent goal, but the defenders certainly played their part. Where were they? They were absolutely all over the place.
Mount. Possession one. Maicon. Now with Foudy. Pirlo. And passing it through. It could be for Mbappe. And in! Oh yes! Exactly what they were hoping to produce. They've delivered the goal. Anthony Evans. trouble have possession again. It's with Diallo. And easily intercepted. And he's through here. Well, it really wasn't easy for the keeper to stop it.
Brilliant save. From that sort of range, he had no right to stop that.
Pirlo. Oh, great defending.
This has been a top-class display today. Just look how many chances they've created. And if they want to, they could score a hatful of goals here.
Yes, they're having a field day in attack. And here they come again. Genuine chance. And you've got to credit that magnificent piece of defending. Maradona, a real opening now. And he's made it a brace for himself. The defender's just unable to stay with him. And he's having a field day.
Well, here we can see it again. And he does so well to skip beyond the defender. He just buys him that bit of time to get his shot away. That's a really nice goal.
Well, now it's the turn of big trouble. Maradona. Could be. Oh, it's off the post. And this time it's in. Fabulous goal. And just look at the celebrations.
Well, as the replay shows us, it's a decent first effort, but he's so quick to get onto the rebound. That's a good finish.
Iago Aspas. Given away by the Nutters. It has gone over the touchline for what will be a throw-in. Seemingly cannot keep hold of the ball here. And support available. Mbappe. Kylian Mbappe. And a very good challenge. Ten minutes to go. On to Diallo. Fruitful looking attack. He's in with a chance. And a goal this time. Applying the finishing touch. Just what the doctor ordered.
Well, here it is again. He goes past his marker so easily with just a drop of the shoulder. And when he gets onto it, he decides to go for power. It's a really emphatic finish, which gives the keeper no chance.
Mount. Now sloppy in possession from the Nutters. Crowdy. Oh, surely! And there is the goal! He's found the net! Joy unconfined!
Well, just look at his movement. He knows exactly how to find space, and it's also a tidy finish. That's a nice goal.
And the referee has added on 2 minutes of stoppage time. Not a great challenge. Free kick here. Mbappe. Oh, that's a super piece of defending. And there it is, the full-time whistle here, and it's a victory for the visitors.
Well, Derek, they were the better team all over the pitch. We saw good individual performances. We saw an attack which was always threatening, and they played really well. What a performance that was today.
show better, never need no pretend. Osman unsetting, they no go to end. The man a ego defend. Deep one for them. Head low, heavy is a peak one for them. Best show better, never need no pretend. Osman unsetting, they no go to end. The man a ego defend. See my lift up the room when I hype. No fun, big up the tune when I vibe. Go long, this ain't for you when I like it. So got mission to move on a mic. Be free, build up the flows and speak. See me ill off the shows and peak. Sub low, get 'em on toes and feet. Jump in, now when it blows and ski. I've been up on it, I got the whole thing locked. Give man a minute, I'm on a golden spot. Fill up a lyric, get them an open shot. Kill a song, when I kill a song, man, watch. Get low if you don't like them high. Set tone when I get hold of the night. Best know, never let go when I rise. It's deep, see me set a few soul them alike. Deep one for them. Fill up a lyric, get him an open shot. Kill a sound, man, I kill a sound, man, watch. Deep one for them. Head low, heavy is a peak one for them. Best show better, never need no pretend. Osman unsetting, they no go to end. The man a ego defend. Deep one for them. Head low, heavy is a peak one for them. Best show better, never need no pretend. Osman unsetting, they no go to end. The man a ego defend. Be free, build up the flows and speak. See me ill off the shows and peak. Sub low, get 'em on toes and feet. Jump in, now when it blows and ski. I've been up on it, I got the whole thing locked. Give man a minute, I'm on a golden spot. Deep one for them. Head low, heavy is a peak one for them. Best show better, never need no pretend. Osman unsetting, they no go to end. The man a ego defend. Deep one for them. Head low, heavy is a peak one for them. Best show better, never need no pretend. Osman unsetting, they no go to end. The man a ego defend.
For football, perfect playing conditions. I'm your match commentator Derek Ray at the microphone, and sitting alongside me is the former Arsenal, West Ham and Coventry midfield player Stuart Robson. And with the game just moments away now, this really... It ought to be a superb watch. It's big trouble versus the kickers.
Well, Derek, we can talk about coaches and their methods, but it's now down to the players. Which ones are going to stand out? Who will affect the game?
In with a chance. And a goal! They start as they mean to continue. They make the opening statement.
Well, just look at how poor the defending is here. But I have to say, it's still a very tidy finish. He looked really assured there.
Diego Maradona. Disappointing for kickers to give it away in that manner. Well, big trouble living up to their name here. Oh, he's got himself in hot water. Amendola has it. And a tidy tackle. Trent Alexander-Arnold. Plenty of support here. That didn't go to plan in the end.
Please make your way to the ticket office. You have your wife's ticket. Thank you.
Well, the play just breaking down a bit here. That's a good pass. Saved, but still a chance. And there it is, a goal. I must say, much to the annoyance of the keeper. So the ball rolling again at 2-0. Very quick thinking there. Plenty of support here. And the keeper dicing with danger. Oh, incredible save, and he snuffed out any sign of danger. Short corner favoured. Enjoying time and space here. Still looking to get the shot off. Oh, it's a terrific challenge.
Well, the fans are certainly having their say. Just listen to them. They thought that was a penalty.
Bale. Bale! Can he find the angle? Running through to the keeper. Kane. And Bellingham. Harry Kane. Takes the shot. Well, that wasn't a million miles away.
Well, they're getting closer, but they need to take one of these chances.
He has teammates around him. Çalhanoğlu. Opportunity. Stopped a certain goal. A super tackle and they've won possession. Feeding it through. And Bale, can he put it away? Ter Stegen with a great save. Now can they hit them on the counter? Bellingham. Wonderfully weighted pass. Well, nearly shaving the crossbar with that powerful effort. On to Diallo. Superb defensive judgment to end the attack. Kane. And inches away. Didn't miss by very much at all. Zinedine Zidane. Well, the managers will now deliver their half-time team talks. Well, big trouble, very much bossing the game up to now. Will there be a response in the second 45? Well, it did looked promising, but no threat in the end. Zidane. Is it going to be? Tremendous block. And a time for cool heads. That's a very fine piece of tackling. It has to be. It's opened up for him. And a goal to increase their advantage to 3. Can they be stopped?
Well, just look at his strength here. He holds off the challenge, he keeps his balance, and he finds the back of the net. It's a wonderful goal.
Is this going to be a thrashing? 3-0 now. Well, that'll be a free kick. And time for the change now. Good ball over the top. Well, that's how to keep the opposition at bay. Now, maybe room here for the counter-attack. Well, there was impending danger, but good defending. Dangerous looking attack. He read the situation defensively and did his job. And they're trying to get right into his face. He's in here. Zinedine Zidane. Perfect challenge. Can he find the right pass? The crowd encouraging him to take it on. Pivotal moment defensively. Now perhaps they can counter from here. Not a great challenge. Free kick here. And they're making a change. Saliba. And it might be. And on the final analysis, not quite precise enough. Goal kick here. Nikita Paris. And a timely intervention. Crowdy. Etienne. Oh, he wasn't necessarily favourite to win that challenge. Well, play getting a bit bogged down in midfield. And teammates around him. But nothing comes of it. Breaking at pace. sequence. Genuine chance. Another goal! The lead grows to 4 now. A rampant display.
Well, let's see this again. This is counter-attacking football at its very best, but he's still got so much work to do. Just look at the strength he shows to hold off the defender and still get his shot away. That's a really good finish.
And this is turning into something of a rout. 4-0. And there it is, the final whistle. The home fans are going to be happy with this result.
Well, Derek, what a good performance that was. They did most things right, and their attacking play was inventive and had a real cutting edge. That was a really dominant display from them today.
That special and unbeatable feeling of match day is in the air, and the knowledge that this has all the makings of a vibrant and compelling encounter. Anticipation levels are sky high, and every expectation this game will live up to its billing. Comprehensive coverage coming up live on EA TV.
Hello and thanks for joining us live here on EA TV. I'm Guy Mowbray, joined by former England striker Sue Smith on the commentary gantry. We've got action coming up from Major League Soccer. Sue, what are we going to get from this one?
Yeah, thanks as always, Guy. It's a pleasure to be here. Anticipating a good game today and an atmosphere to match. Certainly been buzzing in here ahead of kick-off. Hopefully, we're not disappointed.
The first kick of the ball and we're away. This is how the hosts line up.
Well, it looks to be a 3-4-2-1. It should be quite...
What a chance here! Must be! Oh, it was a great chance, and it... Surely the equaliser. In it goes! Level once again. What a game this is turning out to be. Oh, super challenge. Well, that brings the match to a close. A frustrating day for the fans in attendance, and it's 3 points dropped.